Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can manage the self-service service trials as well as purchases, right? So this is going to be something when we wanted to manage the licenses as well as subscriptions across the organizations and across the tenant appropriately so that end users as well as administrators can simply cannot go ahead and purchase or add additional licenses, which may end up adding additional cost to the sell licenses as well as subscription for full tenant, right? That's the objective of this one, right? And to manage it effectively, definitely we should be able to take appropriate actions in order to disable it on the tenant level and not specific area or specific user group, right? So this is something which I'm going to show you how we can manage it as in whether we wanted to allow users to do a trial subscription or they should be able to request access to the any of those licenses. And if yes, then what should be the next actions that depending on the organization, how organization wants to handle those requests, how they wanted to make sure user needs appropriate license, and if they have any process for the same where if user tries to access any license and they need a paid license instead of trial or maybe the license itself is not available, right? That means they need to go ahead and ask for the licenses by following the process, and then probably their respective team would be able to procure one or two licenses, and then that's going to provide, right? But if user is going to use and try trial license, that means the trial license would be added, and that is going to be used for a particular period, maybe a month or two, or maybe as per the trial license period, right? And once that trial license period is over, that means user is not able to access it, and the work that they have done maybe is not going to allow them to use or access that data, whatever it is, right? And basis on that, it is simply going to stop their work, right? So for that, they need to make sure either they need to ask for the licenses, and if that is approved by the organizations and if they have budget and all of the constraints, definitely it is going to be considered. But if not, then definitely the license request is going to be rejected and organization itself is not going to provide any license, right? So I'm going to show you how we can manage those for different workloads or different services within 365 services or within 365 portal, right? And that's going to allow us and give us visibility how we should be able to manage it effectively, right? All right, so let me share my screen quickly here and I'll just simply show you how we can do that, right? So, and also there are two ways. One is to access and manage by the end user side, and another is from administrator side. So I'm going to show you from the administrator side because we as an admin and IT pros, we have the full control of all those uh, ways where we can simply go ahead and whether to allow users to access or procure any of such licenses, right? And if no, we should be directly blocking it, right? So that way we can simply stop it for users. We don't want people to use that at all, right? So let me share my screen here quickly and I'll show you. So this is going to be pretty fast and straightforward. So there is nothing much, but yeah, that's something very important and helpful for the IT pros and administrators to go ahead and take the appropriate actions. All right, so we are here on 365 portal and we need to go to settings here and then org settings. Under org settings, we have the feature or option we can say, which is a self-service trials and purchase, right? So you can see that these are the list of products and services which allows users to go ahead and ask for trial and use on their own identity on their account. You can see that these are the different products, right? And you can see the self-service settings. So by default, all of these services are allowed, right? That means any user from the tenant, they would be able to go ahead and request for any of those services. And as soon as that service is available for trial for a particular period, maybe month or so, they would be able to go ahead and access it and use it. But if that service itself is not available for trial, and we have also prevented, we have stopped it. So we can go ahead and do that directly. So this is a graphical user interface way to manage this capability, which is self-service trials and purchases, right? And there is also a way for the users to or administrators to manage this effectively using PowerShell, right? So for now, I'm going to only show you from this way, from the 365 admin portal, and you would be able to go ahead and manage it. For example, I have a requirement where I don't want end users to go ahead and ask or sign up for trial purchase or trial for the Microsoft 365 Copilot, because that's something if users are going to use it, and then once the trial period is over, then they would be able to, or they won't be able to use it. Instead, they will be able to, or they don't have access there, right? And once the period is over, everything is gone, right? So they don't have any history or records and anything over there on their access. Now, the situation is they might come up asking the license, right? And even if there is something when user has access and use a trial license, and after a particular period that license becomes a purchased or that license becomes a paid service, that means that's the additional cost, right? So it is going to be something where we need to make a decision whether we want to allow users to access trial and start from the beginning. So start or stop their trial access, and if they need something, we should be able to either provide appropriate paid license as and when needed as per their roles and requirements. And if we don't want it to do anything, we should be able to simply do not allow and save it, right? So this way, it is not going to allow to self-service purchase at all for the selected product, and it's going to prevent it. Even if we do not allow it, that means there are certain products those are allowing, or those products have some of the capability which allows users to simply, or those products would be available as a trial for a particular period, even if we do not allow them. For example, I wanted to stop this, right? And simply I would go ahead and save it, right? So it is saved, you can see, and this is simply not going to be allowed at all, right? So similarly, you can do for all the users or all the products. You can see that now Copilot is disabled, and even F3 is one of those license or product that we wanted to disable. So these are the all different products where we wanted to, and it also depends on which product it is where we wanted to not allow, because there are certain products definitely if those are being converted to the paid after a particular period, after a trial period, that means we as an organization and as a IT pro have to manage the licenses and everything together effectively, so that we are also don't end up adding additional cost to the tenant and the business, right? Because we wanted to make sure we do everything in a way where we don't have to impact the user experience and business at the same time, but also manage the cost and everything together appropriately, right? So that way we should be able to take the appropriate decisions and make the balance between both sides, right? So this way we should be able to do it. And it's definitely that every organization looks at in a way where if the trial is available for a particular period, and if that trial plan or trial service helps users to work on their task or their job and improves their productivity and everything together, definitely they would allow it for that particular period. And if that is something that they wanted to bring it on for their day job or full time, then definitely they might think to onboard few licenses and then they will provide it. But if that's something, it's a cost factor as well as the productivity and all other factors are associated with, that means there is a decisions to make whether to go with the cost factor or productivity or whatever it is, right? So that way we should definitely be making the decisions and take the appropriate actions. So here is the option that we should definitely be taking appropriate decisions and whether to allow or disable or what we wanted to do. Even on the second option you see on the screen here, which says allow trial only. That means we don't want to allow anything. We wanted to allow trial, which says users can try this product for free, but cannot buy it themselves, right? So we can allow them on a situation where they wanted to use it for a particular period, maybe 30 days or something, and that's going to be accessible during trial period. And once the trial period is over, that's vanished. That's going to be disabled, and there's nothing available for those users, right? So this way we can also make sure let them go ahead and use it, right? So this way we should definitely be taking the appropriate steps, and then we are good here to manage the licenses, costs, user experience, and everything together, right? So yeah, that is what I wanted to show you and talk about it, right? Because this is something very important for organizations and each and everyone, even IT pros and every decision maker has a decisions to make around cost and financials of the company infrastructure or the organizations wherever we are buying additional products and services, right? And whether those are really been useful, how people are using it, whether that's something user has to use it for their day job or their role. And if they are not using it, that means we should definitely think around it, and whether we should provide only licenses to those people who need it, right? Because we are adding licenses every time, that means we are spending money, and we are spending money, that means definitely that's the cost to the business, right? So this is how we should think around it and make the appropriate decisions on it, right? So yeah, that's all for this video. Hope you like it, hope you learn something new. Don't forget to like this video and share it across your network and friends and people around you so that they can also learn something new. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel, right? So you would see every new video once it is uploaded, and you will learn something new on each video, right? So yeah, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.